What's going on, everybody? We got the Q&A today for reaching 4,000 subscribers, and that's coming up next. So before we get going here today, I just want to thank each and every one of you who subscribed, or even if you just watch. I wish I didn't have to ask for subscribers, but that is how sort of the YouTube deal works. I know some of you get annoyed with it, that I do it at the beginning of every show, but just for small channels, that's sort of how it works. You got to show growth or your videos will get buried. So thank you guys so much. You've been so awesome, and I really, really appreciate you. Like some of you know that have been here for a while, I started this channel, and like for a whole year, like the maximum amount of views I got, I think, was like 50. So for this to like just happen, and it's working now, just unbelievable. And I'm glad that I got a community that I can get on here and we talk about stuff. I never thought it would be anything close to this big, but it's really cool the way it's worked out. So I just really appreciate each and every one of you. And even when we disagree, we talk about it, civilly in the comments, which is super rare on any form of social media. So I think you guys are awesome. And I really just, I wish I could tell you in words, but there are no words to tell you just how much I appreciate you guys. But thank you so much. All right, let's get to the first question. So the first question comes from Molten Rage. He's got about 8 questions for me, so I'm going to knock these out as fast as I can here. The first one is, who is your favorite active driver? Kyle Larson is my favorite active driver, but I grew up a Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt fan, so I pull for the RCR guys and the Petty GMS guys. Really big on Tyler Reddick and Eric Jones right now, and I think Austin Dillon has continued to show a lot of improvement, and I think Ty Dillon is a lot more focused than he's ever been, and I like to see that aggressiveness out of him this season. He had finished in the top 20 every race until last race, actually, I think. So I think those two drivers are getting a little bit better, and like I said, I'm big on Reddick and Jones, and Kyle Larson's really good too. So those are my favorites right now. His second question is, what are your playoff picks? Well, I didn't have Austin Cindric because I didn't think a rookie was going to be in it this year, but of course he won the Daytona 500. So I just wrote down, just off the top of my head, I think definitely you'll get Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Tyler Reddick will be in there. I think Chastain, Hamlin. I think Hamlin will turn it around. I think Hamlin will be in there. I think Kurt Busch will get in. I think Kyle Busch will get in. Even though the Toyotas have been sort of struggling this year, I think those guys will still figure it out at least midway through the season, and they'll get in. Eric Almirola in his last season, I definitely think he'll be in there. He's just so consistent, and I think he'll get a few wins this year because he's going to go for it. I think Harvick will be in there. Harvick's always consistent. He rarely has DNFs. Then Martin Truex, Chase Briscoe's already in. Bowman, Byron, Larson, Cindric, they're already in. So though, if you had to press me for it right now, those would be my 16. But like we've seen so far, I think anybody can win. So you never know. The third question is, what's your opinion on Trackhouse? I think Trackhouse has done a phenomenal job. It's only their second year, and they've got two guys who are competing for the playoffs for sure. And Ross Chastain looks like he could actually be a Final Four driver the way he's driving right now. So I think Trackhouse has done a phenomenal job. I mean, you look at Trackhouse and you look at 2311. They both started at the same time, and Trackhouse looks a lot better right now than 2311. Now, there are multiple factors for that. I'm not saying 2311's run poorly or anything like that. I'm just saying Trackhouse has done a phenomenal job so far. The third question is, what's your opinion on Trackhouse? I think Trackhouse has done a phenomenal job. It's only their second year, and they've got two guys who are competing for the playoffs for sure. And Ross Chastain looks like he could actually be a Final Four driver the way he's driving right now. So I think Trackhouse has done a phenomenal job. I mean, you look at Trackhouse and you look at 2311. They both started at the same time, and Trackhouse looks a lot better right now than 2311. Now, there are multiple factors for that. I'm not saying 2311's run poorly or anything like that. I'm just saying Trackhouse has done a phenomenal job so far. And I also like the two drivers there. Ross Chastain, just an absolute late model legend. And Daniel Suarez, if anybody ever questioned his work ethic or his desire to be In NASCAR, he had 2 good rides coming in, and people were like, oh, he didn't deserve those rides. But when he lost both of those rides, and he drove that one season for Gaunt Brothers in way lesser equipment than he had been driving, I think that showed a lot of drive and just I was really impressed by that, because a lot of guys would not have done that. He sort of took the Alex Bowman, Ross Chastain route, where they drove bad cars for a while before they got on to their good cars. So I was surprised to see him go from really top-notch equipment to lower tier equipment, because he could have gone back to the Xfinity Series where he was already a champion, but he proved he was a champion there, so he said he wasn't going back down. He raced for the Gaunt Brothers, ended up getting the Trackhouse deal, so I think a lot of people sleep on Suarez, but I think he's got a lot of potential to be really, really good, and he's showing that potential this year, so I like what Trackhouse is doing. Who do I think will win the championship? Absolutely no clue, because like I said, I'm not a big fan of the playoffs. So with the playoffs situation where it's a one-race deal, I mean, there's no telling. I mean, right now, I think, your best driver, I think Kyle Larson's the best driver, but I'm a Kyle Larson fan, so I'm super biased about that. I mean, historically, you've seen Kevin Harvick's always usually in the Final Four, so I mean, you can't say anything against him. Martin Truex is typically in there, and Denny Hamlin has typically been in there, even though Hamlin's having a bad luck year for sure. So, I mean, those 4 guys traditionally would be in there. Joey Logano, you can never leave that guy out. I know he's a polarizing figure. Kyle Busch, you can never leave him out, polarizing figure as well. So I have no clue, but I mean, I think Larson would be my favorite. But, like, once again, I'm biased, and, like, I try not to hide that. I just try to be open about it, because I feel like being honest about being biased is better than pretending not to be biased. What do I think about the rookies this year? I think I've been really surprised by Austin Cindric. Of course, all rookies are going to be streaky. He's had some good runs. He's had some bad runs. But I think he's been good. I think Todd Gilliland is going to surprise a lot of people before this year's out, I do believe. And Harrison Burton, off to a slow start. He probably was rushed up, but I think he will show some of that promise before it's all said and done in the Wood Brothers car. Of course, we know from year to year, the Wood Brothers car either looks really good or the Wood Brothers car looks really bad. I did feel for him in Daytona. I think Daytona, he probably had the fastest car and was going to get a great finish there, but, super speedways, good chance you're going to get wrecked, and that is what happened. So he has shown some speed. He has just not had the finishes to show for it. Of course, last race, he didn't even show speed. But that's going to happen with a rookie from time to time here and there. But I think all the rookies have a lot of potential. But I think Austin Cindric is probably just a little bit above these guys right now. He's just had more seat time than them. But I think the other guys will eventually show their talent. I'm big on Todd Gilliland. I think he'll be okay going forward. And I think he's with the right team. So I think that team's building as well. They're just doing a much slower build than Trackhouse. Like you see what Front Row does. They just a little bit each year. They increase and improve their performance. Do I think Suarez and Chastain's time is coming? Yes, I do. I think it's already actually here for Ross Chastain. I think this is going to be that season that people have been waiting for Ross Chastain. And I think Suarez is right on the cusp as well. So I think Suarez is also going to be pretty good this year. I would not be surprised to see him make the playoffs. I would not be surprised to see him win. And the same thing with Chastain. I wouldn't be surprised to see him make the Final Four and get a few wins. I think once he gets that first win, it'll just roll over and the momentum will keep going. What is my favorite scheme so far of the 2022 season? Well, I really liked that Money Team multicolored Pit Viper car. I thought that was really cool. That reminded me of some of the 90s cars back in the day. And I also liked the throwbacks that Roush is going to do for Darlington. And I also like the Tide and Gain car. I like that clothes detergent is going to be sponsoring the Bristol Dirt Race. And it's also cool that they're 2 different brands on the same team. So Gain and Tide on the 43 and 42. So that's pretty cool. So I liked all those schemes so far this season. Will you ever start a Discord for the channel? I've been out of gaming for a while, so I'm not sure about how Discord works, but I did recently make a Twitter. It is BaloneyBurger84 or at BaloneyBurger84 on Twitter. I'm going to probably start. I've tweeted out a few things, but I haven't been on Twitter since 2012, so back on Twitter. I got off because of all the political talk, but I'll get on there and talk NASCAR. now that this is bigger. So that'll probably be a good way, the best way for you guys to reach out to me. I will be more active on Twitter than probably anything else. And I will definitely try to tweet during the race and see what's going on. So Baloneyburger84, if you want to get up with me or tweet at me or, whatever. Like I said, I got to round back into Twitter shape. It's been a long time since I've been on it. Alex Fleming writes, who will break out this season? Any wild cards? Well, I think a lot of people are high on Reddick and Chastain. I think they've already sort of, in a way, broken out. They've shown a lot of speed this season, but I think some guys, and Briscoe too, I've been a big Briscoe fan. I think some guys that people aren't talking about are, like previously mentioned, Suarez. I also think at some point Cole Custer, even though he's having an absolutely terrible season, a lot of bad luck, I think Cole Custer will eventually break out. We saw in the Xfinity Series he can get the job done. It just hasn't clicked for him at the Cup level yet. I think Cole Custer can break out. There's a chance Todd Gilliland breaks out, but I think it'll be later on down the line. And another guy that people don't necessarily think about or talk about, but I think has a lot of potential to break out is Justin Haley. He's got a ton of potential, and I think the College car is a good car, so I think he will eventually break out as well. And Robin Marks asked, what is your ancestry? Well, as far back as I can trace it, my ancestry is Scottish, Irish, and Scandinavian. So those are the big ones. There's some other stuff, but basically, just a mutt. A lot of different stuff in there. So, yeah, I don't know. Just a mutt, I guess, an American mutt. Billy88 Joe asked, will you be at SRX in South Boston? Yeah, I absolutely plan on being there, and I think that's going to be a really cool event. So, yes, I will be there for that. So, basically, I started it because I was doing a podcast with a guy and some stuff over there. He kicked me off my page, stole my page and stuff, and YouTube was the thing I had left, so I just started putting all my stuff on YouTube. So that's how that got started, but also I wanted to talk about stuff that I was talking about with my friends around the water cooler at work. So I did that, and I just wanted to see how it went, and like I said, for a year, nothing happened, and then all of a sudden, I guess, I don't know if I got better or just more people found it. I don't exactly know what happened, but it got a lot more popular than it was. Like I said, the first year I only had, I think my maximum was like 50 views on one video. Which I was excited about then, so I'm super excited now when I get more. Yeah, man, if you want to do it, just go do it. All you need is a camera. If you've got like a cell phone, the cell phone will work. I would recommend, upgrading and getting something at some point better than a cell phone. But the best camera you've got is the one you've got in your hand. I started off with a GoPro. And then we moved up to a iPad because the GoPros do like a sort of real weird warping thing to you. And I just as we had money, I built up a little bit more each time. So just go for it, man, and do the best you can. Don't worry about it the first year. Just don't worry about it. Just go do your thing. Try to get better. Be as good as you can. I know my first video, I looked like I was sitting in a dungeon. Like it was just so dark. So just go for it, and then the more you do it, the better you'll get. And I think it's been really fulfilling for me. Even when people weren't watching or anything like that, it was just fun to do. It's something I like doing. So if it, just do it and see if you like doing it. And if you like doing it, keep doing it, and you never know what could happen. So yeah, go for it. And the next question is a question I get at least once or twice a month. If Kyle Larson ever says that word again, would you still be wearing the hat, and would you still have the banners and stuff like that in the background? Absolutely not. I would not still have the hat and have the banner in the background, but I also would like to say this. I don't think he ever will, because I don't think a lot of people understand how much he learned from this. Like, he really changed his life. He has put in the work. Like, he is still visiting and helping communities. I forget what the name of the program is, but he's involved with. It's an urban initiative program, but he's still doing stuff, and he doesn't have to. And I think, to me, that speaks volumes. I think he said the word very carelessly, and it's something you should never say. But I think he has absolutely learned from it, and I think he's trying to become a better person. And I believe in second chances, and like, that's a big thing for me. Like, this cancel culture world we live in now, that's not for me. I mean, I know everybody in the world is going to make a mistake at some point. So I'd rather believe in forgiveness, because that's the world I want to live in, as opposed to this world where everybody expects you to live perfect, because that to me is just unrealistic. So yeah, it would be disappointing, and I would take that stuff down if it ever happened again. But I really don't foresee anything like that happening in the future, because I think he honestly learned his lesson, and I think he's trying to become a better person because of it. And I know some people will never, some people will never see it that way. They'll never forgive him. He hurt them that bad saying it, whatever. So I mean, I get that too. But I think the guy made a mistake, and he's trying to better himself, and I think he has bettered himself, and I hope he continues to better himself, like we all do. Dennis Jarvis said, "Who is your favorite driver, and will you ever do a live Q&A?" My favorite driver, of course, right now is Larson, and like I said, the Petty GMS and RCR guys. Will I ever do a live Q&A? I would like to, but I'm like I said, when I first had this channel, it wasn't super popular, so I have this fear. I really just need to get over it. That I'll just go live and absolutely nobody would show up and be a part of it. So I have that fear that I'll just be sitting there like, and nothing would happen. So I need to get over that. So in the future, I will try to figure out the best way to go live, and I will try to do a live Q&A, possibly when we hit 5,000. We'll see what happens. So yes, I do plan on going live in the future, but also I have some hang-ups about it. And Chase is champ. What is your opinion of Carl Edwards? I think Carl Edwards was a great race car driver. He had a huge fan base. I think he had some type of medical issue. This is just a personal opinion. I think he had some type of medical issue. That's why he just up and randomly retired. So I think that is part of the reason we most likely won't ever see him full-time again. The other reason being he's getting up there in age, so it would take him a while to round back into racing shape. But I think he should definitely be a Hall of Famer. I don't know if he'll be first ballot. I wouldn't probably put him first ballot, but I think he'll eventually be a Hall of Famer. I think he's got enough on his resume to get there, and he definitely he had a huge fan base. I don't know how many people remember it, but Carl Edwards had a huge fan base, especially when he drove for Roush. Then he went over to Joe Gibbs, and I think a lot of people followed him over there. But I remember when he was at Roush, like you would see 99 shirts all over the racetrack. And Chris Jordan asked, "What is your name and what do you drive?" My name is Kyle, and I drive a Silverado, a blue Silverado 2018, and I also have a $500 Cobalt, which is 2008 or 2010, which is a piece, but it's good on gas, and that is what I drive mostly right now. And that is actually the end of the Q&A. So thank you guys for your time. Once again, man, I really appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next video coming tomorrow. Thanks for your time. Peace.